Ed Meekum, 60 Howard Street, Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. I also, like Lisa, received a letter, and I was also cleared. I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm here tonight to address and respond to Councilman Simone's comments under his privilege of the floor at the last council meeting. For over 20 years, he's been an active member of our community, whether it be on the planning board and also as a council member. In his statement on the record, he stated he never heard of a CAG. This is proof that he has lacked the follow-up needed in dealing with the serious DuPont issues. Not once during your tenure as a councilman did you pull DuPont to the table on any issue, and as a matter of fact, in my humble opinion, your lack of action has been part of the failed efforts to bring a real cleanup to our community and in our residents' lifetime. To hear you state that a federal agency stopped attending a citizens advisory group that they created because another group was formed, a competing group, is just outright ludicrous and without any merit whatsoever. I'm sure there are many reasons that inspired a federal agency to take such drastic action. I personally sat on that EPA-sponsored group for over a year as an alternate and watched as the group failed to follow the EPA's own handbook guide for CAGs. Not one member of the EPA-sponsored group stood up at a public hearing to address the partial cleanup of Pompton Lakes, as many of the residents did, but as a matter of fact, some stood up in support of DuPont was submitted. They claim in their cleanup plan that the mercury in other parts of the lake are from sources from outside their plant, with no data to back up that statement. I found a document that the DEP actually did a study to see if burning mercury fulmite at Pompton Lakes could have migrated to Franklin Lakes and Woodcliff Lake, but no study was done here, and we were assured it never landed in Pompton Lake. Much of the information is based on antiquated data, spatial averaging, and also based it on testing and interpretation provided by DuPont and DuPont only. I'm sure you would not know, but as far as the DEP goes, they were required under RCRA to report their findings early in the process to the United States Fish and Wildlife Service for comment. That never happened. Have you ever asked yourselves why? I've asked, because of the lack of involvement of our elected leaders like you and others with cozy relationships with DuPont, including but not limited to the DEP's close working relationship with DuPont, not only in Pompton Lakes, but on all of their contaminated sites across the state of New Jersey. I have some serious concerns when a member of a borough-created ad hoc committee stands up at a council meeting and states he would like the mayor and council to pull an application from the planning board in an attempt to not only override the public hearing process, but to eliminate the planning board's requirement to have DuPont fund experts at the board's wishes to engage and bring more information and a better cleanup to our borough. I'm appalled at the actions of Mr. Grayberg, who is also a member of that EPA CAG group that you stated you support, Mr. Simone, and a member of our CAG, as Councilman Sierra stated on the record. Statements made by Mr. Grayberg on the record showed that he's speaking directly with DuPont, seems to have information on their objections to the planning board's request for funding experts, and the problem that they have with Fish and Wildlife's recommendation. How would this be in the best interest of the people of Pompton Lakes, who've been left in the dark for decades about the severity of the contamination issues in our borough? And one other thing, I never want to hear from our elected officials that we must stop talking about this issue because it gives our town a bad name. In my opinion, it's elected officials who conduct themselves like you and the others up there that have failed this time and time again. In closing, where are the natural resource damage assessments that our residents deserve in this community from the contamination? In this case, you may not know once again, but it can only be assessed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So don't worry, the People's CAG that was created by the people for the people has already asked this to be implemented. Thank you.